What's up, YouTube? I have not been uploading any videos for about a year, and that's not because I'm lazy. So about a year ago, I started racing Assetto Corsa Competizione, and it turned out to be such a difficult game. I was quite frustrated in the beginning. So over the year, I've been playing on and off, and I finally start to make progress on my lap time. Over the year, I've also discovered a few things I don't quite like about this Obato cockpit. So I've decided to upgrade it. After doing some research, I decided to go with one of those aluminum tubing cockpit. I ended up choosing GT Omega Prime Series. In this video, I'm going to briefly talk about what I don't like about this Obato setup, and then we're going to disassemble it, and we're going to assemble my new GT Omega setup. So let's start with what I didn't quite like about the Obato setup. Number one, the height of the wheelbase. The height of the wheelbase is not adjustable. You can only adjust the tilt angle. For me, it's sitting a little bit too high, but I cannot adjust it, so that's a little bit annoying. The second thing I didn't quite like about this setup is the bucket seat. This is not the original seat that came from Obato, so they're not to be blamed. This is basically just a cheap bucket seat. And what I don't like about this seat is that the actual seat pocket, it's very deep compared to the lap support. So it's actually quite uncomfortable to sit in. I actually had to add some cushioning so that I sit a little bit higher so that the lap support is not as annoying. The third thing I didn't really like about this setup is the overall design. I am all for simplicity, but this particular cockpit design, as you can see here, it's made up of a bunch of steel tubes. To me, they're basically going everywhere. It's definitely not a problem, but just aesthetically, it's not pleasing to me. Another factor that came into play was that as I was racing in ACC, I realized that having a single screen does not give you a very good field of view. For that reason, I actually wanted to also upgrade to a triple monitor setup. And factoring what I didn't like about this setup, I decided to just upgrade. So in this video, I'm going to disassemble this Obato setup, and I'm going to assemble my new GT Omega setup. My new bucket seat hasn't arrived yet, so I'm going to stick with this for now. I'm going to make another video about just the bucket seat when it shows up. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so I have disassembled my old setup, and now we have the room for the new setup. For my new rig, I'm going to start with assembling the display stand. Here I have two boxes. The larger one on the bottom is the main stand that holds the center display. The smaller box on top is the extension arm that holds the second and the third display on the two sides. I'm going to start with assembling the main display stand for now, and I'll assemble the two extension arms later. And for your reference, the length of the larger box is about 1.3 meters and weighs 14.3 kilograms. And the smaller box has a length of 62 centimeters and weighs 9.1 kilograms. All right, let's get started. Alright, the center display stand is almost ready. I haven't fully tightened all the screws up there yet. I want to wait until I finish assembling the rest of the rig so that I can confirm the width of these two legs, and then I'll tighten all the screws up there. The rig itself also came in two boxes. The larger one has a length of 1.5 meters and weighs 27 kilograms. This is no joke. There's also a smaller box. I'm not sure what's in there yet, but I guess we'll find out soon. Alright, so let's continue the assembly. Alright, after 2 nights of hard work, I finally assembled this new GT Omega cockpit. My new seat hasn't arrived yet, so I mounted my old seat to do some initial adjustment. The adjustability of the Prime cockpit is phenomenal. I'm finally able to adjust the steering wheel to be exactly where I wanted. However, there's also one major problem with the monitor stand, which is why I don't have a monitor mounted yet. For smaller displays, like 27 or 32-inch displays, they usually use VESA mounts. And VESA mounts use 4mm screws. The screw hole on that mounting plate is actually larger than the screw head. For reference, this is the screw I plan on using. It is pretty long. There's a very particular reason for this. I'll explain it later. But the problem I'm having right now is that this is an M4 screw, and the size of the mounting hole opening is larger than the screw head. So either I'll have to get a giant washer, or I need to figure something else out. I might end up going to a local machine shop to make a custom plate, and that should also allow me to use a shorter screw than this one. Until then, my new rig is at 90% completion. Alright, I think that's it for this video. I'll report back when I figure out how to mount my monitors on that stand. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions about the GT Omega Prime stand. I'll try my best to answer them. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.